Here's the hard truth. When she sees that you've stopped chasing, something inside her will shift. It's like a switch flips, and suddenly the power balance tilts in your favor. Now, she's the one left wondering what went wrong and why you're no longer showing interest. In this video, we'll break down the emotional roller coaster she experiences, revealing the stages of doubt and uncertainty she goes through when you stop giving her the attention she's used to. But here's the twist. This isn't just about her. It's about you taking back control and using her confusion to your advantage. We'll show you exactly how to handle this situation with strength and composure, so you can regain your power and keep moving forward with confidence. Trust me, you'll want to watch this. There's a lot more going on than you think. Here's the thing. The first step in handling her reaching out is understanding why she's doing it. When silence breaks and you get that message, your immediate reaction could be excitement, confusion, or even a bit of both. But before you let your emotions take over, you need to pause and ask yourself, why is she reaching out now? Understanding her true intentions is key in deciding how to move forward. Without this clarity, it's easy to get caught up in a reactive cycle that doesn't serve your best interests. Women don't randomly reach out. They have a reason. Maybe she's curious, wanting to see what you're up to after your silence created some distance. Or perhaps there's a sense of regret, where she realizes she might have lost someone who truly mattered. On the flip side, her message could be a way of testing if she still holds any influence over you, seeing if she can get a reaction. The truth is, every message has an underlying intention, and it's up to you to figure it out. To get to the bottom of it, you need to reflect on your past with her. Has she been respectful and consistent, or has she shown signs of playing games and manipulating emotions? A woman who truly values you will reach out with purpose and sincerity, while someone seeking attention might send you something vague or half-hearted. Here's the key takeaway. Not every message should be seen as a doorway back into her life. Sometimes her reach out might be genuine, but just as often it could be a way to feed her own ego. By taking the time to evaluate the situation carefully, you're showing that you won't just react to anything that comes your way. Instead, you're someone who values intentional and meaningful communication. When you approach her outreach with this level of awareness, you take control of the situation. You're no longer on the back foot, reacting to her moves. You're responding from a place of clarity, which instantly sets the stage for any future interactions. Rule number 2, keep your emotions in check. One of the biggest pitfalls men fall into when a woman reaches out is letting their emotions drive their reaction. It's completely normal to feel a mix of excitement, confusion, or even frustration when she breaks the silence. But here's the hard truth. If you let your emotions take control, you're essentially giving her the power to dictate how you feel and how you respond. Let's paint the picture. She sends you a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" The temptation might be to respond immediately, pouring out everything you've been holding back. But what does that really show her? It tells her that you've been waiting for her to reach out, and that her message carries the power to affect your emotions. Even if that's true, it's crucial not to let her see that. Emotional mastery is the foundation of confidence. Instead of rushing to respond, take a pause. Reflect on why her message hit you so hard. Are you hoping for things to go back to how they were? Or is it that her reaching out triggered a feeling of insecurity? Understanding the root of your emotions helps you respond from a position of strength, not neediness. Here's a pro tip. Don't feel the need to reply right away. Give yourself the time to process the situation. If her message feels surface level or insincere, ask yourself if it even warrants a response. If it feels genuine and meaningful, Take your time to craft a reply that reflects your self-respect and confidence. The key is to show that her reaching out doesn't control your actions or emotional state. Whether you decide to reply or not, the choice should come from a place of strength and respect for yourself. When she sees that you're not easily swayed by her attention, the power dynamics shift in your favor. Rule number 3. Master the psychology of silence. Silence is often misunderstood as passive or indifferent, but in truth, it's one of the most powerful psychological tools at your disposal. When a woman reaches out after a period of no contact, your silence can speak louder than any words you could say. But here's the key. It has to be deliberate, not reactive. Why is silence so impactful? It creates space for emotions to grow, curiosity to build, and reflection to take place. When you don't respond right away, or at all, you leave her with a gap to fill. She begins to wonder why you're not reacting, what's happening in your life, and whether she still holds any significance to you. This uncertainty builds emotional tension, and curiosity kicks in. She's forced to confront the question, why isn't he responding? This is the exact kind of emotional engagement you want, but it can only happen when silence is used purposefully. However, silence isn't about playing mind games or manipulating her feelings. It's about prioritizing your own life and showing her that you're not waiting for her validation. By choosing silence, you demonstrate emotional independence, self-respect, and strength, qualities that are far more magnetic than desperation or neediness. The real power of silence also depends on what you're doing with your time. If you're just waiting for her to notice, your energy won't shift. But if you're actively working on yourself, pursuing your passions, building confidence, and living a fulfilling life, your silence becomes a reflection of personal growth. When she sees that you're thriving without her, it leaves a strong, lasting impression. One thing to remember, silence doesn't mean you'll never respond. It simply means you're taking the time to reflect on whether engaging with her aligns with your values and goals. If it does, you can respond with confidence and clarity. If it doesn't, your silence says everything. Rule number 4. Knowing when it's worth engaging. While silence is a powerful tool, there are moments when responding to her message is the right choice. If her message comes across as thoughtful, genuine, and shows real effort, it may be worth engaging. However, how you respond is just as crucial as the decision to respond itself. The key is to keep your response measured and composed. Avoid long, emotional replies that might appear needy or overly eager. Instead, aim for a tone that reflects confidence and calm. For example, if she sends you something like, "Hey, I've been thinking about you," a simple response like, "It's good to hear from you. What's going on?" maintains control and keeps things light, without coming off as overly invested. But here's where you need to pay attention. What happens after you respond? Does she continue the conversation with genuine interest, or does it feel like she's just trying to get attention? Real intentions are reflected in consistent, meaningful effort, not just a sporadic message here and there. When you choose to respond, remember that your goal isn't to win her back or to seek validation. Instead, it's about preserving your self-respect while gauging if she's truly interested in reconnecting on a deeper level. If her actions feel shallow or self-serving, you're absolutely in your right to pull back. The bottom line is this: responding should always be a conscious decision, not an obligation. If you engage, do so with purpose, clarity, and confidence. And if you feel that her message isn't worth your time or energy, let your silence do the talking. Rule number 5. Setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Whether you choose to respond or not, establishing clear boundaries is absolutely crucial. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, and they're the key to safeguarding your emotional and mental energy. Without boundaries, it's easy to slip back into old habits and patterns that don't serve your best interests. When you set boundaries, you're not being cold or dismissive. You're simply defining the terms under which you're willing to engage. For example, if her message feels vague or doesn't show much effort, there's no need to jump into an enthusiastic reply. But if she reaches out with genuine effort, you can still maintain your boundaries by controlling how fast and in what tone the conversation moves. Setting those limits is about making sure the exchange stays healthy and balanced, not driven by emotional manipulation or expectations. Boundaries also protect you from getting caught up in emotional games. If her intention is to test your attention or boost her own ego, your boundaries will clearly signal that you're not playing those games. This doesn't just protect your energy, it communicates confidence, emotional strength, and self-respect. Here's a real-life example. If she texts you late at night or sends a message that feels emotionally charged, resist the urge to respond right away or choose not to respond at all. Giving yourself space allows you to assess whether this message aligns with your values and goals. Prioritizing your own well-being and energy sends a clear message that your time and focus are valuable. Boundaries are all about maintaining your balance. They ensure that any interaction is on your terms and that you're never sacrificing your self-worth just to get attention. Rule number 6, the art of making her wait. When she reaches out, there's no rule that says you need to drop everything and respond instantly. One of the most powerful strategies is the simple act of making her wait. It's not about playing hard to get or manipulating the situation. It's about giving yourself the time and space to respond from a place of thoughtfulness and strength. Here's why this works. People naturally value things that aren't immediately available. If you rush to reply within seconds, it sends a message that you've been sitting around waiting for her to reach out and that her message controls your actions. But if you take your time, it shows that you have your own life, your own priorities, and that you're not at her beck and call. It also builds curiosity on her end. The longer you take, the more she'll start to wonder, why is he taking so long? What's he doing? Has he moved on? This mental loop keeps you on her mind, often far more than a quick response ever could. However, this isn't about withholding just for the sake of it. Use that time wisely. Reflect on her message, her intentions, and what you truly want out of the conversation. Does her message deserve a well-thought-out reply, or does it not warrant a response at all? Taking that time allows you to decide what's best for you. When you do respond, your timing will reflect confidence and control, not urgency. It shows that your life is full of priorities, and while her message matters, it doesn't dictate your actions. That level of self-assurance will stand out to her and make her respect you even more. Rule number 7, gauging her effort. Not all messages carry the same weight. When a woman reaches out, sometimes it's clear she's genuinely trying to reconnect, and other times it might feel like she's just testing the waters. Being able to gauge the level of effort she's putting in is a crucial skill when deciding whether or not to engage. Start by paying close attention to the content and tone of her message. Is it something casual and vague, like, "Hey," or "How's it going?" Or is it more thoughtful and specific, like, "I've been thinking about us, and I really wanted to reach out"? The first kind may indicate a minimal effort, possibly just testing your availability, while the second shows a deeper level of sincerity and vulnerability. Another thing to watch is consistency. If she sends one message and disappears again, that's a major red flag. Genuine effort is reflected in consistent communication. If her intention is truly to reconnect or rebuild trust, her actions will align with her words over time. Here's a useful tip. If her message feels vague or non-committal, don't feel obligated to give an immediate or overly detailed reply. Instead, you can keep it neutral, like, "Good to hear from you. What's on your mind?" This puts the responsibility on her to continue the conversation, giving you a better sense of whether she's genuinely interested. By focusing on the effort she puts in, you're not only protecting your energy, but also setting a clear standard for how you expect to be treated. This shows you value meaningful connections, not superficial interactions, and that's a reflection of your self-respect. Rule number 8. The importance of staying grounded. When she reaches out, it's easy to let your emotions run wild. You might feel excitement, nostalgia, or even a sense of validation. But here's the hard truth. Staying grounded is essential if you want to maintain control of the situation. Staying grounded means not letting her message dictate your emotional state or actions. Whether she reaches out with genuine intent, curiosity, or even with a hidden agenda, your response, or lack of response, should come from a place of calm and confidence. A key to staying grounded is to focus on your own personal growth and priorities. When you're deeply invested in your own goals and life, her message doesn't become the focal point of your world. It allows you to approach the situation with perspective, seeing it as just one part of your life rather than the defining moment. Another crucial aspect of groundedness is avoiding over-analysis. It's tempting to read between the lines of every word she sends, trying to decode her intentions, but overthinking only leads to unnecessary stress and self-doubt. Instead, take her message for what it is and respond, or not, in a way that aligns with your values. Staying grounded also means maintaining emotional independence. While her reaching out might seem like an opportunity to rekindle something, remember that your happiness and well-being don't rely on her. Whether the interaction leads to something meaningful or not, you're still in control of your own emotions and state of mind. When you stay grounded, you not only protect yourself from emotional roller coasters, but also project a sense of confidence and stability, and those qualities are far more magnetic and attractive than any impulsive, emotionally driven response. Rule number 9. Why reclaiming control is essential. When she reaches out, the dynamic between you shifts, and this moment is crucial in determining whether you regain control or slip back into old patterns. Reclaiming control doesn't mean dominating the situation. It's about establishing the tone for how you want to be treated moving forward. It starts with self-awareness. Recognize your value and what you bring to any relationship. If her message feels like an attempt to test your boundaries or manipulate your emotions, you have every right to disengage. If her intentions seem sincere, you can engage from a place of strength, not desperation. A key way to reclaim control is by focusing on your actions, not just her message. Ask yourself, are you pursuing your personal goals, building confidence, strengthening connections with others? The more you invest in yourself, the less her outreach will seem like the most important thing in your world. Reclaiming control also means establishing boundaries. If she's used to you responding right away or constantly adjusting to her needs, now is the time to change that pattern. Respond on your terms, not hers. Don't hesitate to assert your needs and set expectations for how you wish to interact moving forward. Here's the bottom line. Control isn't about manipulating her or the situation. It's about owning your power. When you approach her reaching out with confidence, clarity, and self-respect, you are shifting the dynamic and laying the groundwork for healthier, more balanced interactions. Rule number 10. The bigger picture. Your growth matters most. Ultimately, her reaching out isn't the most important aspect of the situation. You are. The choices you make in these moments, should always reflect your personal growth, your values, and the direction you want your life to go. Moving on and focusing on yourself isn't just a tactic, it's a way of life. When you put your happiness and well-being first, everything else falls into place. Her message may feel significant in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, it's just one small part of your ongoing journey. Your growth isn't about seeking validation from her, it's about proving to yourself that you can thrive no matter the circumstances. Whether you decide to engage with her message or not, the most powerful statement you can make is by continuing to build a life that brings you fulfillment. Remember, you're not the same person you were when the relationship started. You've learned, grown, and evolved, and that personal growth is what sets you apart. When she sees that you're thriving without her, it sends a message far stronger than anything a text or conversation ever could. In the end, the best decision you can make is the one that honors your values and respects the journey you've taken. Whether you choose to respond, stay silent, or move on completely, remember this: your growth is always your most valuable asset. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.